What is up, Atlanta United fans? Welcome to the 21st episode of 90 on Peachtree, coming to you on this October 21st, 10 days from Halloween. I don't know about you, that's a little spooky to me, but we are coming to you after Atlanta United's big win at Toronto last weekend, their first ever win at Toronto, and boy, they picked a great time for it. Playing without Joseph, the attack was dynamic, one of the best non-Joseph offensive outputs we've seen of the season, and that sets them up very well for this home stretch of games as Atlanta tries to make the playoffs and secure as high a seed as possible going into the tournament. So while we spent the weekend watching the Braves win the first two games against the Dodgers in the NLCS, Atlanta United spent its Saturday night in Toronto, north of the border, securing an important 3 points for the playoff race. They did it without Joseph Martinez. And speaking of Joseph and the Braves, Joseph was at the game supporting. He took a sweet picture with Ronald, as you see here. And that was the weekend. It was great to see the Braves win and great to see Atlanta United get a strong road win, their first ever win at Toronto. We know how difficult a place that is to be, regardless of how good that team is. Obviously been struggling this season, but they have a lot of experience. And we all remember the end of the 2018 season. Atlanta had a chance to go up there, win the Supporter Shield, and it was just an absolute debacle. So for the team to go up there this weekend, get their first ever win at Toronto in that environment is a big step toward making the playoffs, and it probably felt a little bit like a playoff atmosphere, even if Toronto is out of it at this point. And before we go any further, a new thing here on Atlanta Sports Unlimited, this video is brought to you by Prize Picks, the simplest fantasy sports game on the market. It's simple to play and easy to win. Pick 2 to 5 players, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry. Prize Picks is slick and easy to use, and it can be found on the App Store and on Google Play. And if you sign up using the code ASU, that's for Atlanta Sports Unlimited, Prize Picks will 100% match your initial deposit of up to $100. Sounds like a good deal to me. You can find all that info and the link and the code, once again, ASU, all in the description of this video. Some takeaways from the match, like I mentioned right from the jump, the offense looked the best it's looked probably all season playing without Joseph. They had Araujo, Moreno, and Barco. They played a false 9 again. Those guys just looked so much more comfortable with knowing, all right, this is how we play with Joseph. And okay, without Joseph, this is how we're going to play. And we're going to really push it in this way or in that way. And Moreno was great again. Barco was great again. Araujo scored that nice goal off a really solid buildup across the field. And then Moreno with another great solo effort, just a pure Moreno goal at the end, the clutch dagger to make it 2-0 and secure the 3 points. And perhaps most exciting was how dangerous George Bello looked over the weekend. He was everywhere on that left side, up and down, created a ton of chances, had the assist on the Araujo goal, almost scored one himself, and by my count, created at least 4 high level chances and major scoring chances for the 5 stripes. And he was everywhere. Maybe could have had one if Moreno passed to him at the end right before Moreno scored, but he scored a great goal, so you can't really blame him for anything there. But the development of George Bello to go from international duty the last week and a half or so to come back, he said he and Miles got back to Atlanta on Thursday, went to Toronto on Friday, and then they played on Saturday, and it was like he didn't miss a beat. And if George Bello can do that at 19 still, that's an impressive development for him and great signs for Atlanta United. And every now and then we forget about Brad Guzan back in goal, but what a clutch save at the end of that match. Toronto was pretty much set to make it 1-1 on a header, point blank, maybe even inside the 6-yard box. Guzan makes an insane diving save to his left. Moreno scores a couple minutes later, and that's that. That's not quite a season-defining or season-shaping moment, but a huge swing right there from 1-1, having to go back with just 1 point in the draw, to scoring the goal to seal it and coming back with 3 points, vaulting into the playoff race and into 5th place with just a few matches left. And by the time you're watching this, Atlanta will just have 4 matches left. They'll have played last night against NYCFC. We'll have seen if Barco's red card got rescinded and if he was able to play last night. And there's still lots of room to maneuver each way in the standings, maybe moving a couple spots up, and could potentially miss the playoffs too. And 3 of those final 4 games for Atlanta are against teams that are out of it. And so those are games that Atlanta needs to win, needs to get all the points from, and take advantage of that friendly schedule, including another rematch with Toronto, which we saw some bad blood and some animosity between the teams late in that game. Hopefully nothing crazy happens in the return fixture back in Atlanta, just because you don't want to miss guys for the stretch run or potentially for playoff games. And Atlanta will finish with 2 more at home starting next Wednesday, and then they'll have 2 on the road to finish the season. And so ideally, you sort yourself out. You maybe clinch a playoff spot with those next 2 home games, and then The last 2 road games are just for seeding. But at this point, it's you got to take all the points possible. And like Araujo said, the best plan and the best strategy and the way forward into the playoffs is to just win all the games you play. And that stretch of the final 4 games begins next Wednesday, a bit of a scheduling quirk. So there's no game this weekend for Atlanta United. They'll play Inter Miami on Wednesday night at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Last time they played there a couple weeks ago was the historic night when Joseph scored his 100th goal. And so Atlanta United will be looking to play a lot better than they did in that match and probably score a lot more goals and create more chances than they did in that match when Miami really did a nice job of kind of bottling them up. But that starts that final stretch of 4 games, and we'll see what Atlanta United is made of in terms of building upon the result from Toronto last weekend and whatever they did yesterday against NYCFC and moving into the biggest 4 matches of the season. And then the Thursday after that match, we'll have another episode of 90 on Peachtree. There will be a surprise in that episode. I'm not going to tell you what or whomst it may be, but you'll definitely want to look out for that as we get into the final stretch of the season and continue to try things and have some fun on this show. And so you won't want to miss that episode. That is called a tease in the business, and that is as far as I'm going to let it go right now. And since there is no Atlanta United this weekend, you can watch El Clasico on Sunday morning, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Hala Madrid. I'm a big Madrid fan. And no Messi, no Ronaldo, but no problem. It's still El Clasico, and it always delivers. And so there's that on Sunday. Atlanta United back on Wednesday, hosting Inter Miami. And then we will be back with a special episode of 90 on Peachtree on Thursday. We'll see you guys then.